guys for coming out. Hope you enjoyed your evening so far.
Today we're going to talk about our abundant future.
The Earth is filling, but it isn't full, especially not in the way that Paul claims it to be. The Earth is filling with conforming ideas, methods, and new ways to extrapolate how the world at large works. We live in an age of rapid technology advancement. The future, if we choose, is brighter than it has ever been. Wouldn't you agree, GeoFriend 2?
I would have to agree, GeoFriend 1, and it's so apparent in this new scientific revolution we live in today. Not only do we have the design, but we have the means. It's only a matter of time. But don't take our word for it. Listen to the facts.
Great point, GeoFriend 2. We should listen to the facts. What are the facts exactly?
People believe that democracy is falling apart at the seams. Fear of a crisis is imminent. Claims that water war will break out amongst countries in the near future. However, the facts are that now multi-billion-dollar corporations like Coca-Cola, which are starting to develop technologies that can help sustain water, which GeoFriend 2 will explain.
At the moment, Coca-Cola is in the development of a product called the Slingshot, a piece of technology which makes use of a Stirling engine to produce fresh water from almost any source. The vapor compression distillation. Without getting into the details of how the device exactly works, due to copyright issues, the Slingshot is capable of generating 1,000 liters of water a day, which is enough to sustain 100 people, with pure water for hygiene and cooking uses. Also, the device requires no pre-treatment pipelines, engineers, or installation permits. This means it would take very little time to set up a vast array of slingshots around the world. The second piece of technology Coca-Cola has in the works is an even more ambitious concept called the Eco Center, a modular kiosk made from a 20-foot shipping container that provides clean water with the Slingshot technology, along with other services such as wireless communications and even off-grid electricity. So in turn, big businesses are actually on the frontier of discovery rather than at a standstill until crisis emerges. Furthermore, a coalition of businesses and non-for-profit organizations led by Coca-Cola has pledged to deliver up to 2,000 off-grid water purification systems to rural communities in 20 countries by late 2015.
Well said, GeoFriend 1. Also, did you know that the California Water District has opened its doors to a new piece of equipment called the Water FX Aqua 4, which makes use of solar desalination, a method capable of converting salt water and impure sources of water into drinkable water. After 6 months of operation, the 6,500 square foot solar power tested facility has produced up to 8 gallons per minute of water from discharge drainage and will be expected to expand its facilities.
Oh my goodness, that's a crazy fact. So sustainable water sources do exist. One problem though, what about the energy we need to create these types of projects? Isn't solar power fairly expensive on a larger scale?
I'm glad you asked. Of course, renewable energy is one of the hottest and most controversial topics of today.
Where does it come from? How can we afford it?
Right now, we know solar energy is one of the most promising and cleanest forms of renewable energy, but I personally still believe the cost outweighs the results. Let's look at some more facts. Power flux on the Earth Earth's atmosphere is about 1,400 watts per meter squared. This measurement means that on average, 1 square meter on the side of the Earth is facing the sun receives energy equal to that of 14 100-watt light bulbs every second. That's a lot of untapped harnessed energy. And in the past decade, we have seen dramatic drops in installation panels of solar panels, which means that we can get energy to developing nations as well as first world nations. This means that harnessing large amounts of energy is more sustainable than ever. Not only that, but recent development of solar equipment has increased the effective output by a factor of 10 on a scale of 5 years. Moore's Law, which was a law created by the CEO of Intel, says that computers increase efficiencies at the same cost they did the previous year. So if a computer costs $100 now, next year you'll get a better computer for same cost. We do need to look at some numbers to see where we actually are.
GTM research groups have found that solar panel growth in the US alone has seen an increase of PV solar panel production of 26% in the past 2.5 years, which was a 75% increase of today's total installations. Furthermore, the Solar Energy Industries Association has predicted as many as 12,000 new solar power installations across America in 2016. That's more than 10,000 installations that were tracked in 2010. As seen by this graph, the increased trend in solar power has led to commercialized solar panels that have decreased the price of panels by 97.2% since their early stages in 1975. This is breaking stuff, people. The U.S. Energy Information Administration monthly 2014 review showed that in America, all renewable energy sources production equaled consumption for all sources but biofuels. So, contrary to Paul's argument, we haven't chosen to ignore the need for cleaner sources of energy, but we have been working diligently to implement newer and more sustainable systems for many years.
It should give us hope to know that there are so many out there who are striving to find solutions to the world's problems, contradictory to Paul's argument, who seems to have the opposite idea. We have the power, but we need the motivation, was one of his quotes. It is a pretty powerful statement. Paul seemed to believe that fear is mankind's motivational tool behind preventing crashing of economies. It has become a very powerful idea that the Earth's worldwide population is growing at approximately 1%. This is like the total Earth's population, so all the countries combined. In more of the countries like China and India, you're seeing a dramatic decrease in population growth, and in European countries and the Western world, the population growth is more of a replacement of 2 children to 1 girl. The recent developments for education, like YouTube, Khan Academy, digital applications, and global communication systems, have been at the forefront at preventing crises and worldwide catastrophes. We're not waiting for catastrophes to happen, but as generations quickly become part of the global system, which is people are actually getting connected at a rate of 4.3, we can quickly realize that both power and motivation for solving contemporary problems have been there all along.
For example, the HIV riddle of how the structure of a protein sniping enzyme critical for reproduction of the AIDS virus, was cracked in 2011. This was not done by the hands of scientists who had been puzzled at the answer for more than a decade prior, but by the hands of online gamers who have used a protein folding application called Foldit to snap the code. It took this band of gamers a little over 3 weeks to solve this puzzle. That's just 3 weeks compared to a decade. And since then, researchers at the University of Washington have been convinced that utilizing these kinds of technologies for research is crucial to the future of science.
As more people get connected to the internet, this will mean more people will get involved into issues, which will mean we will have more creative and better chances of finding solutions to our problems. For instance, of finding water and energy.
Just like we saw before with the increase in solar panels and with the increase in productivity of figuring out ways in which we can solve our problems such as water with technologies such as the slingshot and the Coca-Cola supplying those eco-containers, we can find that our problems are being solved through technology in correspondence with Moore's law. We are getting better and better at solving these problems today.
So it would seem, though fear is not the tool that pushes us forward after all.
Indeed, abundance is our future, GeoFriend 2. It is our drive for discovery, curiosity, that will see humankind continue into a brighter age. And that's an idea worth spreading.
Where does it come from? How can we afford it?